Hey guys, last year I grew 2 pumpkins in my garden. I grew your traditional sugar baby pumpkin, and then I grew an heirloom Pennsylvania Dutch, they call it a crookneck pumpkin, and it's definitely heirloom, non-GMO. You're not going to find it in your grocery store in a lot of places, but it's definitely my favorite pumpkin. This thing is so underutilized. I don't know why the commercial market doesn't go for a pumpkin like this instead of a pumpkin like this. So most of you have carved a pumpkin for Halloween, and you know, inside of here you're going to have straight slime and seeds and strands of stuff that you're going to have to scoop out with a spoon. Well, in this guy right here, that's all just down here in this bottom. This whole neck is solid pumpkin meat, if you might call it. So I like to use it because it saves me a lot of time. And let me just cut into it. This is one of my last ones, so I thought I had to make a video now or never. I harvested this guy in October, and I've been keeping it in cold storage about 50 degrees. So you can see it's all solid pumpkin. This part right here, if you cut it in half, it would be just like this, and it would have all the seeds and stuff, and we'll do that later. But my chickens are going to get this. I'm not even going to worry about this. I don't need to bother with that. So I'm going to take the head off here. So the other thing about it in the garden was that the sugar baby pumpkin, that pumpkin only yielded one, maybe 2 pumpkins per plant. This guy right here, there was, 5 or 6 pumpkins on him. Now they do take some space, they wander, but all pumpkins do. If you don't have a big enough yard, you probably want to stay away from pumpkins, but what's grass good for? If you have an area in your yard that you really don't walk on too much and it's just grass and all you have to do is mow it, why would you want that? You can just put some pumpkins there, let them sprawl. So you can see, like, that took no effort, and pretty much anything you would use a butternut squash for, you could use this pumpkin. But this pumpkin tastes way, way better than a butternut squash. I like the taste of this way more than the taste of the sugar baby. The sugar baby to me tastes a little grainy. This crookneck pumpkin is just, it's just enough sweet, like not overbearingly sweet, but just enough sweet and buttery and creamy, all the things you want to taste. Whereas this guy right here, you're probably going to need to puree it and put it in a pumpkin pie. I actually taste testing, and this crookneck was actually sweeter than the sugar baby, which was interesting to me. Also, just looking at the color of it, I'm sure that there has to be a lot more vitamins and nutrients in this crookneck pumpkin. I mean, I didn't have to scoop anything. I just, basically took the skin off of it, and I've got my little cubes here. It's easier than a butternut, really. So back to how it grows. It has really large leaves, like that big. And so what it was really good for was to keep out the weeds from other parts of my garden. So like if you, like I said, if you have a part of your yard, you just, you don't want to mow it, just plop one of these guys down. I mean, even if you only did one, that'd be so much fun. So, yeah. The rest of this, I'm going to just leave the skin on, and I am going to go ahead and roast it. And then when it comes out, the skin will just peel right off. But I mean, look at that. I'm hoping you can see the color. The color is just fabulous. But when you do have this out in your garden or in your yard, you don't want to mess around with lifting up the stem very much. It's a viner, and what happens is it puts out new roots like every foot or so. So if you're picking it up and moving it around, you're probably tearing some roots out of the ground. It's not that good for it. Although I've had a hard time killing these things. They're super simple to grow. They don't seem to need a lot of care. If you put this out in your lawn, like all I did was clear. I put it where there was grass, and all I did was clear about a foot around where I planted the plant, and it took over, and it took over the grass. So you don't even have to. It's not work. I love these plants that do the work for you, and getting to, you know, the pretty big large pumpkins for Halloween and stuff, you know, that took some genetic modification, and when they put in one attribute, they take away another, and that's, you know, the plant's ability to keep itself alive man has to step in then and, you know, spray chemicals and worry about pests. That was another thing. Like I didn't have any borers. I've been growing it for 4 years now. I've never had any borers. I didn't see any like crinkling or rust along the leaves. Just a nice healthy leaves. So I know it's not just me that loves the taste of these more than a traditional pumpkin. My dogs also